You are now listening to the new Old Heads podcast, premiered every Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time at BringDownTheBand.com, and brought to you by No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl, and Sun King Brewery. Support the new Old Heads by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You are now tuned in to the new Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7th. The entire crew is here. We had slight technical difficulties, but we will make it work. And we are live and back together for the first time in over a year.
A year and like
4 months.
Yeah, since last March.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, it feels a little weird to be back around the table, but at the same time, it feels good to be back to, see all the homies. Shout out to my man Red August, who is on site producing for us today. I'll start off as normal. My man Lonegevity, how are you, sir?
It's just great today.
It's weird being able to say that and actually look across and see you now. I mean, I got to get back into the groove.
Yeah, it's a lot of technical difficulties. We weren't able to go live, but hopefully next week will be good.
We'll make it up to them, to the audience.
Yeah.
That next voice you heard was my man Jay Moore. How are you, sir?
Once again, blessed and highly vaccinated. Just trying to make $1 out of 15 cents.
I'm not mad at that. To my immediate left, my man DJ Jay Diff, as always. What's happening, man?
Salutations.
Good to see you, brother.
Indeed, likewise, man. It's good to be back, with everybody in the same room. Yeah, it's been a minute.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. I'm used to, making sure the camera and the lighting's right in my individual room.
Man.
Yeah. This is good though, man. We'll knock the rust off and take care of all the technical difficulties and then get back rolling. But
I think everybody in there has got their superpower shot now, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Superpower shot. I forgot you was calling it that. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get into the rundown. These are unusual circumstances, but we're going to make it work. Let's start off with, I saw this on All Hip Hop. Shout out to Yasin Bey. We all know him as Mos Def. And he was on 𝗀𝗲𝗄 podcast. And they were talking about, he was basically talking about how they're getting pressed for their project, being able to put their project out. But the topic of streaming came up, and Mos was a little frustrated about the streaming process and the pay. He says it's not about streaming. That's not the problem. He says, you mean to tell me that the source of labor at the center of this experience is supposed to be satisfied and grateful with receiving a portion of a penny for their efforts and labor? And then the site goes on to show that the pay rates are around 0.00735 for Apple, 0.0074 for Amazon, 0.69 for YouTube, and then 0.125 for Tidal. Spotify is 0.003 to 0.005. Either way, these are pennies, not even pennies. So he expresses frustration with that, and then also he really got. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he really got hot about people pressing him about the project. And, he's saying that they still want to wait. They don't have to rush or anything like that. But it made me think, from a streaming standpoint, do we think artists will ever get to the point where they want to try to make a stand against streaming services based off the limited amount of pay? Or would that even work? How would it be received? You know what I'm saying? Because there's really no union per se where people can get together and kind of maybe form something to go against it. The streaming services are going to have the power and the leverage. But what do you guys think about that? Do you ever see a situation where maybe some of the artists will try to get together and band and maybe put some pressure on some of these sites, maybe pull some of the music off? I don't know. It just made me think about it because Mos was upset with it. Lone, I'll come to you first. What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like we've talked about this in the past. Maybe I'm wrong, but months ago. Maybe years, but I maybe a union is the right way to go. Maybe it's not. I'm not sure. But he's right in the sense that the streaming services have all the power, and it's not necessarily a monopoly, but it kind of is, I guess, just through a handful of companies. It's really hard right now if you want to put music out and you want to boycott streaming services, it would take a major artist to do something like that. It would take a Jay-Z for like when he's launching Tidal or something like that to get a big push over for people to, like, people are not going to go away from streaming. It's not going to happen at this point. So it's, I don't know. I don't see it. It's like Amazon. It's just like this ever growing thing that's going to take over the world. So I don't know how, I don't know what the solution is to it, to be honest.
No, I feel you. I mean, it's the leverage is the hard part to get around.
I don't know how you leverage against them though.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be the hardest part. It would take somebody of, significant stature to, I guess, make them at least think about it. Not
Right.
sweat per se, but at least think about it. But if you look at the payments, man, the payments are ridiculous. We've known that, but when you see it laid out across there, I can understand its frustration. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Jay Moore, what you think, man? Like, what is it going to take, or would it even work?
Sadly, the toothpaste is already out of the tube, and we're not going to get it back in anytime soon. And even if we could, like, it would be such a tedious process that I don't think it would work at this point. Because I think about artists that I really care about, and like when the last Little Brother album came out, and I listened to it several times over. But when you look at the pay rates, even through Tidal, which pays the most out of all, these streaming services, the amount of times I listen to it doesn't anywhere equate to a full if I'd have just bought the album, when I used, say they put it up on sale for $7.99, the amount of times I listened to it did not equate to $7.99.
Right.
So it is selling the artist short, because you can be a fan of somebody and maybe you only find a couple of songs only that you really like, but these are the ones that are going to go into my playlist. Still, how many times are you going to play those songs? Is it going to equal an actual album buy? Chances are the answer is no. The only way it could happen is if say someone like Drake decided, okay, this next project, Certified Lover Boy, but I put it up on any streaming services. You have to come to my website. I'm going to have a website. We're going to, build out these servers, and, we'll be ready for the traffic when it hits. And, if you're really a fan of mine, I'm going to sell you the album for $7.99. We'll just stick with that number. And then that, but it could only be somebody with the leverage of Drake or Beyonce, or I can't even really think of anybody else who has that kind of leverage.
Jay-Z.
I don't even think at this point Jay-Z.
He did something similar at one point with the whole phone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
But still that was you basically had to already have paid for that through your subscription through having a Samsung phone.
Right.
So that was a way around that, so maybe it could be something like that. But if Drake is the one who, if he wanted to build out his own network and say, okay, the only way you're going to get my album is if you come to my website and you have your credit or debit card ready with $7.99 already loaded, then you can have the full quality album downloaded. Now that's the thing, people don't download music to their phones. At one point, half of my phone was music.
Yeah.
That I had downloaded, and I still, I still occasionally will go ahead and actually, if I want a song, and sometimes things don't stream or things can be out of print or whatever, and I can find it, I still like to have those things on my phone just in case I'm somewhere where that does not have internet. But we're just in a place right now to where, unless somebody with the star power of Drake, who is pretty much the biggest streaming artist,
ever.
Ever.
But that would just leave him in a ball game by himself.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, because everybody can't choose that route to go
exactly
based off their popularity.
But if he decided he was going to show people the way, and maybe he was said, okay, if you don't want me to do this again, we're going to have to talk about what it is. These little half a pennies. This isn't something that's sustainable. When the record companies are making all this money, like their record companies are making record profits right now, but the actual artists are, you play my song a million times and I get $4,000. How does that sound right?
Right. Yeah, it's Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it can actually really get better. It has to be something with the streaming services, like some sort of pressure has to be put on them to change.
And there's no incentive for them to change.
The thing about it is that unfortunately the ship has sailed on the music industry, because not only is it like that in the music industry, but even technology wise, like, so they're making laptops don't even have CD drives on them anymore.
Right.
New cars don't have CD players in them anymore.
Yeah.
So the only way that I'm going to be able to stream any music in my car is either listening to the radio direct and getting the over the airways stuff, or I need to be able to stream from my phone. Most people are going to choose the latter and stream from their phone, and they're paying that $10 fee to stream any album they want. I mean, we came up in an era where you paid $10 to get the album that you wanted, and now I'm paying $10 a month to get endless albums.
Yeah.
And they even got some services now that can connect to your DJ equipment, and you can literally stream all the. You have an endless library of music that you can stream directly to your set right now as you're playing. So what a lot of artists have done, I mean, and y'all are hip to this, is you have to create, you have to package it correctly for people to want to actually spend the money, which is where the merch comes in play. So you have to be able to sell merch, or now the new thing is NFTs, is if there's ways that you can put out projects and somehow grant somebody an NFT, is going to give them the incentive to want to purchase your music. You know, there has to be something in order to make people want to purchase music, because people didn't come up like we did, unfortunately.
No, I mean, you talk to somebody who's 17 or 18 years old now, and buy music.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
Like the idea of even downloading music. Think about it when, in the old Napster days. I know we all remember, or
I know a couple people.
You're talking about 20 years ago. That was 99, 2000, to where, but I think this is what happened when the record companies, instead of saying, okay, we got to adapt to changing technologies and changing formats and how music is distributed, they just tried to, all right, we're going to shut down Napster, and you guys are going to buy CDs one way or another.
Yeah.
You know what the thing about that is too, is that was a gift and a curse, because at the time it sounded like a good idea. Let's shut down Napster. People were at least still buying music at that time.
True.
People were getting it free as well, but you had certain people, they wanted that tangible album. They wanted to look at the liner notes. They wanted to actually feel something.
Yep.
So they were losing money. But they weren't losing it like they are now in this streaming era. So it was almost like, I guarantee you, these artists would trade Napster being available
Then the streaming
versus
era.
this whole streaming thing. Because I mean, if that hadn't ever came about, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Because I would
pretty much evolved.
I would stream albums. I mean, not stream albums, but download albums, just because I like when Commons B came out.
Yeah.
It was on the internet almost 3 weeks to a month before it hit the stores, and I just wanted it, and so I downloaded it. But because I was a fan and I liked what I heard, I still went out and bought it.
Yeah,
even though it was crazy because it had
I didn't.
the downloaded the version I downloaded had the studio version of the food on it, and when I got the album, and then they took Consequences verse off.
Yeah, but the live version of the food, I just got used to it because, like you said, I remember,
show.
the Chappelle Show and everything, which I was cool with. But I do remember going out to buy that album, and he had a it was an enhanced CD.
No, it came with a DVD.
Oh, DVD, yeah. So they went through him picking out the album cover and recording process and all that type of stuff. So I thought that was dope as well. But to your point, like even in the midst of all that, we were in college and people were downloading everything. There was an attachment there where we still were used to going out to buy music.
And even the quality of some of those albums weren't good. You just wanted it because you were literally fiending to hear that music.
Yep.
So you would download that leaked album and still go out and purchase it. Or like some artists even switched the whole album up. I remember when Cameron's ESPN, or what was that called?
STE.
STE, Sports, Drugs, and Entertainment. I remember when that leaked, that came out like maybe a year and a half before the actual album ever made it to see the light of day, and it was different than the one that came out. You know what I'm saying? So it was a great time to be alive, but at the same time, I understand the gripes that the artist had. But again, fast forward to today, and you're in a whole nother ball game because you're not even getting near what you were getting back then.
Well, you think about these artists now, and they're charging $175 a ticket. You know,
Man.
or you know, and they got $45 T-shirts. I mean, it's crazy, but I get it because they're not getting any money from anywhere else.
$65 hoodies.
And that's on the low end.
And that's on the low end. And I've been to shows where people run up to the tables and cop at $65.
Oh yeah,
a
they
pop.
copping all day.
They sell
They getting a fitted hat. They getting the hoodie, and I'm easily spending $175 at a merch table, just because it's a part of the experience now. It's leaned on more now for the experience.
And it's not even just music. I don't know if y'all been to a comedy show lately, but like literally at the end of the comedy show, the comedians, if they're not big name comedians, they're off the stage, greeting everybody as they're leaving, trying to get you to buy something from them.
Smart.
Yeah, because I mean, merch and having something tangible is where it's at. Just being able to see somebody on TV here and there, or being able to stream them, just isn't getting it done as far as the monetary revenue is concerned.
Well, just think about overall what we're talking about when we're talking about consumer entertainment. You know, of course, our expertise is music, if you will.
Talk to them.
Think about, like, remember, like, you would go to somebody's house and they had a massive DVD collection. You would be in envy of somebody.
Yeah.
Now you're like, why do you have all this stuff here? Unless it's something that's out of print, or a specialty item or something like that. Like,
let me go to my broken fire.
Why would you?
Speak.
Or the same thing for, you know, video games. Used to be somebody come in and have a stack of games. Now, why do you have all this clutter?
Yeah.
Everything is digital. Like, I don't have to go to GameStop or Best Buy. Day one, I can pre-download things on my Xbox, and then they'll be on my hard drive, and then once a certain date hits, then I'm able to play it.
Hey, if something crashed though,
man,
we are gonna be so lost because
when
nobody has any
Skynet
analog
goes
stuff.
he's still
There's no analog stuff. Well, I mean, some people still have it. Like I still haven't gotten rid of my records or my CDs.
I got mine too.
Yeah,
or DVDs for that
I buy
matter.
records to keep them off the street. I just got to have it.
There's another angle to this as well. I think the key, back to kind of the original point, I think the key is around advertising, because that's what fuels the money for everything.
Right.
Yep.
And in a lot of industries that are based around streaming and visual media, YouTube, Tidal, iTunes, SoundCloud, all that stuff, Spotify, even Twitch, what happens is, I don't know if you've watched a video and you've seen like the same ad over and over and over again. A lot of times there's just not enough advertisement to fuel the consumer base sometimes. So maybe the solution is something based around getting more advertisers to be able to contribute. Maybe it's around that somehow. I don't know. But
if you pay for that premium subscription, you don't get any.
You don't
ads.
get to see the ads.
I've seen people talk about that even with Twitch. There's a feature on Twitch where you can pay X amount a month and you get no ads on like everything or something.
Okay.
But their model is not built for everybody to do it. It's only built for, like, if everybody did it, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
You know, so this is all, even though like it is the streaming companies need to pay artists more, I feel like the way the money comes from the advertisements. So it's still, in my opinion, on them to figure that out. But I think that's the key in there somewhere.
It's like anything else. Evolution, you adapt and find ways to, adjust. You know what I'm saying? So like Terry was talking about with the merch, like I think a lot of people have adopted that. I didn't even realize the part about the comedians, but I just remember certain shows where I've been to and the merch was just flying. And I remember walking over there being like, yo, they killed them $65, $75 a pop.
Right.
And the people were just eating it up. So
my
That's
only,
all their money, too.
My only thing with that is that it takes the argument and the conversation away from what streaming platforms
about the
are
streaming,
doing.
yeah, that's fair.
Like
fair.
that's putting more accountability on the artist, which I think is okay, right?
Yeah.
Because they're going to be better off for it. But it doesn't take away from the fact that the streaming platforms still aren't paying anybody.
The streaming,
I
the
agree.
streaming companies are getting rich. The record companies are getting their money, and the people who drive this whole engine are being shortchanged.
I mean, I couldn't have said it better. We could leave it there.
Yeah,
That's a good
it's
point.
called capitalism, I believe.
Is that what it's called?
Here we go.
I heard something about that
I
on
heard
the
something
news.
about that. Yeah,
A little bit.
Shouts to DJ Spools.
There we go. Shout out to the homie Spools,
Yeah.
man. That's the homie. All right, man. Let's continue on. We have been, if you follow us, all of our supporters, we've been doing our regional thing in terms of, I think we have covered the South, most influential artists from the South. I think we did the Midwest last week. I'm getting old, so y'all got to help me. So I figured we might as well go to the West Coast. And now this is going to be real hard to tie down. And I know this conversation could linger, so, we just be mindful for time. But most influential, I don't even know if it's fair to say artists or to keep it at just artists and maybe include groups, because there's so much stuff that came out west. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to pin down one person. Now they got a sound, we all know that. But I'm gonna open it up to individuals, groups. So we can just kind of go around the table like we've been doing the last couple weeks. But I will start by saying this, and Jay Diff, I come to you first. Would you be upset if I said NWA?
No, because that's actually who I was going to say. NWA has to be the most influential group from the West Coast, and not just because of content, strictly based off of how they came into the game, how they packaged themselves. Like we're sitting there talking about merch and things like that. They literally came from a town filled with gang culture. You had Bloods and Crips.
Yep.
Their attire was black and white. So that means that anybody could attach themselves to this group because they didn't subscribe to either one of the gangs. Whether they did on their own time or whatnot, they didn't in the music.
Gotcha.
The music was, of course, gangster music, which I know Jay Moore brought up Ice-T a few episodes
back.
Yeah, a few episodes ago.
I got a couple text messages about that.
Of course, Ice-T has to be influential to NWA because he's the first to do it. But in the same time, the way that NWA packaged it, the way they toured it, the just the overall impact of that group, they took the hip hop game by storm when they came out. Like
true.
People had to match their energy. You know what I'm saying? It was like the first crew. I wouldn't even say first crew because that's false. I mean, you had the Fabulous Fives and I don't even know. You about to get me lying saying names.
No,
Furious Five, yeah.
Juice Crew,
yeah.
them,
But
yeah,
it was just that NWA, they all stood out on their own. Even though Ice Cube was behind a lot of the lyrics, it was a machine.
Yeah,
literally was a machine, and they sold it up and very influential.
Okay, I guess we were on the same page then. Jay Moore, talk to me, man. Are we 2 for 2 with NWA, or is there something that we missing?
And I know people are like, why does he cape so hard for Ice-T? But the thing is, Ice-T was, when Dre and Yella was still wearing sequins and doing dance music.
Oh, here we go.
And this is no diss, and this is not. It's not like I'm trying to put them on Front Street. It was in the movie. We all know this. We know about the World Class Wrecking Crew.
You ain't have to say sequence though. You ain't have to put
What
that
was
one
it?
out there.
I mean, that's what Alonzo had them doing. Like
I mean,
it
but
was
you ain't have
it was straight. That's what the R&B. That's what all the R&B dudes.
You ain't have to say sequence though.
Well,
It was definitely sequenced.
Yeah.
It was, but
They needed that black and white Raiders.
So
White Sox. Joints.
So while they were doing that, Ice-T had 6 a.m. and it's just straight gangsterism involved in his music, and so like the road was laid out for NWA by Ice-T. To a lesser, there was a cat named Toddy T. He had a joint called the 𝗏𝗱 but people don't know that as much. But Ice-T was putting out whole albums.
That was actually a skating rink song here.
Was it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm asleep. I just learned something. I didn't know that.
Sir.
Okay, but and Ice-T, he of course he kicked the gangster lyrics, but he also had a little. He had a little bit of politics in there, because when you watch this is probably why he got away with having his videos on MTV without it just being straight exploitation, is because there was all like my favorite, probably one of my top 5 rap videos of all times is High Rollers. Now, if you just watch the first 3 minutes and don't watch the end of it, you think this is just straight exploitation. He's got the gold and the cars and light skinned chicks, which was not very much standard in rap videos at that time.
I see you.
And come on, he had the Ferraris and you understand they weren't renting.
Yeah. I
so
see you.
these were hustlers' cars.
Yeah.
That were in this video, but at the very end, the protagonist, he wound up getting shot.
Exactly.
You better watch your step if you want to be a high roller. So it's not like Ice-T was just exploiting gangster culture. He was trying to but he was trying to be as responsible as you could and still keep it hardcore. So
I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I go
don't
back
know
and,
about that.
I mean, you're right. Because even the song Colors, he's talking about
even a song called
game.
You Played Yourself.
Yeah.
Like Ice-T he's been trying to give everybody game for the better part of 35 years.
Hey, I fool with Ice-T. I ain't, I don't.
But
Ice-T
it just
fan,
wasn't packaged like NWA.
That's
it wasn't
all I'm
because
saying.
Ice Cube talking about should have never been let out the penitentiary.
Yeah,
he wrote that when he was in college, and that's not once again.
I actually was in high school.
Yeah,
High school. Okay, that's right. But
Yep.
Ice Cube ain't seen no parts of the penitentiary.
Nah.
But I'm just saying, like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to minimize NWA's influence, because when you look at the NWA tree, the NWA tree, starts with, you talking about everybody from JJ Fad all the way to Kendrick
now
Lamar.
we talking.
Even down south.
Yes.
Down south.
You talking about the West Side Connection. You talking about the Game.
Now we talking.
You talking about Caution, for those of you who know Above the Law.
Mm-hmm.
So the NWA tree is probably in all of hip hop, is probably the craziest tree ever.
And let's not forget that, Eazy wasn't a studio gangster at all.
Not at all.
Oh no,
He was out there really doing
He
it.
just didn't represent. You never heard him say Kelly Park Crip, but
Yeah, right.
Those who know Eazy-E, he was real.
Yeah.
This is my favorite. This is my favorite part of these topics, when I get to come to my brother Lone, because if you've been following us, sometimes he tends to not care, but I think he's gonna care on this one. Lone, talk to me about the West Coast, man.
I think it's got to be Jerry Heller.
The thing is, you can make a case for that.
Here's what they think about you.
Yo,
Here's what
hey,
they
Red
think
August,
about
get your boy, man. Reel your boy back in, man.
Ice Cube ain't feeling that sentiment
At
at
all.
all.
No, I would probably lean towards NWA.
Yeah.
I've had a feeling Jay was going to go towards Ice-T.
Ice-T.
Yeah.
But which I think is a great argument.
Yeah,
but
I can
but
see it.
your guys' knowledge on West Coast music is way higher than mine, because I didn't grow up with it like that.
Yeah.
The first Tupac album I heard was All Eyes on Me. So
Man, listen, I got in trouble.
Yeah, that's facts.
This is a vivid memory. On Saturday mornings, when Mom would go to work, she was a beautician, so it's busy on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not expecting Mom to be on for a long time.
Yeah.
So we would have to clean the house or whatnot. My brother always had records. He kept them up in his cabinet in his room, so they weren't laying out, so you would never get caught with them. He had Too Short, Born to Mac, NWA's first couple albums, whatever. We had a record player. We would play this every Saturday. We would play these records. Mom came home early from work this day, and those records disappeared.
Yeah.
That was the end of that story.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
She didn't throw them away though, which was cool. She ended up actually giving them back to him, like after some time had passed. It was just that what she was hearing when she came in the house.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, she wasn't feeling that. So
Yeah, some of those albums, boy, like there was some lyrics on there.
This is the thing, even with the Strata Compton album.
Hey.
You know, we could act like this was our political. You know, this substance, and they saying something, and the police, and this, that, and the third. When you get to that second NWA album,
Man,
you really can't. Look, I listened to that now, and I was listening to this as a teenager.
Hey,
my parents they should have been mad.
That album is nasty.
all the way through.
The side B,
man.
Ooh, it's pretty rough, y'all.
And it's song after song after song. It ain't just one sprinkled in.
No, it's not like, oh, they're gonna do the nasty song here. It's like just
it's the whole thing.
It's the whole second half of the album that is just.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like nasty, like the songs you hear on the club now.
No.
I'm talking about like
It was a mix
Crimes.
of. It was a mix
Crimes
of
nasty.
Yeah, Rudy Ray Moore, Too Short, and
Who am I?
Elliot Ness
It's-
all
it's-
mixed together.
There
Look,
we go.
it's the difference between going to a strip club and handing the lady a dollar and balling up the dollar and just throwing it at her.
Nah, for real. Hey, I've witnessed that happen in real life.
Hey,
So wait, but what about? All right, so we mentioned a bunch of LA artists. What about the Bay? Would you consider West Coast two different sounds? Who would be your influence?
E40.
I was going to say E40 and Too Short's from that area.
MC
Short, too.
Hammer.
The thing,
Don't do that.
The reason
Don't do
why,
that.
the reason
Don't
why
do
I
that.
pick E40 over Too Short, mind you, because Too Short technically came out first, but they actually were doing it around the same time.
Yeah.
But Too Short got he got familiarized first, like regionally in all over the country. But the way E40 was independent, E40's literally been independent his whole career.
Entire career. Yep.
So if anybody has a blueprint for how to be independent, you definitely got to look at E40. I know we talk about Master P all the time, but without E40, there will probably be no Master P.
I said it kind of tongue in cheek, but look, Hammer taught a lot of us how to get money. He just did it in a way that we didn't G4 initially, but he's like, a lot of people took that formula and tweaked it and figured out, okay, this is how I get on the radio during the day.
Yeah.
This is how I can get, okay, maybe I'm not going to tap dance for Kentucky Fried Chicken like Hammer did, but I'm still,
That still bother me,
but
man.
did you know what? That opened the door for Pete Rock and CL Smooth and Grand Puba to do Sprite commercials.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
So
he had a cartoon.
Hammer
did.
showed us how to really get money.
But he really technically followed the Michael Jackson formula,
Just applied it to rap.
You can
just on the
apply
rap
it to
side,
Yeah. And like since
without
we-
saving his money though.
and if we're talking most,
I mean, that he told us how to get it. He didn't talk about how to
Mike,
save it.
Mike wasn't sharing his funds with Tito and Jermaine and them.
Look, Mike got off
man.
the victory tour and said, "This is it."
Literally.
he said, "This is it."
yo,
Especially when Randy got the gyrating and moving all stupid.
He was
You
like,
see the
"I'm
look
not
he
taking
gave
y'all
him?
back on the road
I ain't
no
messing
more."
with y'all no more. Y'all ain't getting no
We
more
not-
money with
hey.
me. Matter of fact, I might figure out how to buy these publishing rights on all this stuff because y'all ain't getting nothing.
what we not gonna do is have any Randy Jackson slander on this show today.
You
sir.
seen the video?
I
of
saw-
Randy.
I think actually that was Marlon.
Was
But
it
It
Marlon?
doesn't make any difference.
Yeah,
That Mike had
sound a
enough.
little Randy-ish, don't it?
Yeah,
All right, man.
yeah, it did.
Look, a couple things. One, all right. One, Hammer most influential.
I'm not saying
No,
most of it,
I'm-
but
I know,
but we
but I
got
follow
we got to talk about it.
To your point, I give him P's because if you think about it now, everything is commercialized.
And he would have done it anyways. He's too legit to quit.
Oh my God, man.
This
Please,
whole thing was
Hammer,
a setup
don't.
for that joke.
Yo, I forgot how much he raised my blood pressure with stuff like that until we got back together. But nah, man, like it's commercialized now. You know, Hammer had a part in that. And Terry, I want to give you P's too for not saying brutition. I love you for that. Because I hear that all the time and it makes me cringe.
Well,
There's
you
no
know
such
what?
thing as a brutition.
I had a pretty decent educational upbringing.
Okay. I mean, I'm
And
just
if I had said brutish in my house,
yeah.
you heard the story I gave you about the records.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
It would have been similar to that.
Yeah, that lets me know that you had an old school, you got an old school mama and you was raised right. That's what that means. So I feel you. But I'm so happy you didn't say brutition because that's really stupid.
Well, you did, so
Oh yeah.
the phonics.
Hopefully, if y'all listening, y'all know not to say that no more. But no, Lone's point is valid because the Bay definitely has its own sound.
Yeah.
You think about, man, with 40 in them and Mac Dre, all them cats out there, like it's a little different.
Yeah.
Way different. The Bay and L.A.
Yeah.
might as well be on two different coasts.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I'm not mad at that. And I'm gonna go with 40 Water too because I gravitated towards 40 more than I did Too Short. Respected Too Short, but I was pro 40 when I was coming up. So
Yeah, you definitely couldn't get caught listening to no Too Short.
no way. Like I remember having I think I snuck out and bought the tape for Getting It. You remember
It's supposed to be his last album.
Yeah, I had the cassette tape. I remember listening to it on the way to a basketball game, like in a Walkman. That's how long ago that was. So yeah, I definitely remember that. But yeah, I'm pro 40. Even when he dropped 3 albums with what you say, long 65 songs apiece.
One album with 65 songs.
Hey, I fool with 40, man. And his entrepreneurial game is high. He out here goon with the spoon, Lumpia Company, like he wine, liquor,
Carlo
like,
Rossi, all
Yeah.
that
You got
stuff.
the Earl Stevens.
Yeah. 40 to Terry's point, been independent forever, and now he's just expanding that empire, so I respect it. So we can go with that. We can rock with
I mean,
NWA and 40.
I mean, we do this so the people who listen have, they yell at the car, wherever you're listening.
Yeah.
I can't believe y'all didn't say Tupac.
Yeah, that's gonna
Tupac technically ain't from L.A.
Talk
or
to him.
California, but
Yeah.
Well,
I'll get a couple texts about Ice-T though. I just know they coming. I know they coming.
Okay, yeah, they can forward them texts. And I'll send them to @FinalLevel on Twitter.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Let me I'm gonna step back real quick to shout out our partners that we have. Shout out to Sun King Brewery, Coleman Dental, Indie CD and Vinyl, BringingDownTheBand.com, and Printfinity. So we appreciate all the support with the partners
I
there.
feel like you forgot somebody.
Did I forget somebody? I ain't done this in a long time. Isn't that everybody?
Bringing Down the Band is the hub.
It is the hub,
You
but
said
I'm.
that.
said
I said,
all
You
right.
say Coleman Dental,
I said
Sun
Coleman.
King,
Yep.
No Bad Ideas.
Yep.
Indie
No bad
CD.
ideas.
bad ideas. Bada boom, bada bing.
Man, they've been with
Hey,
us
And
since
for
day
those
one,
watching,
too.
if you look around the room, Lone has strategically placed hats,
Yep.
glasses.
I got one on
the
now.
whole shebang. So
Yeah.
there we have it.
No Bad Ideas.
No bad ideas. I
There
apologize
you go.
because y'all been rocking with us,
Since day
man,
one.
since
Day
literally show one. So
Like literally.
literally. So, but we appreciate all of our partners, and like I always say, we just want to continue to grow those relationships and
Indeed.
build on it. Now that we back out here, maybe we can
In the streets.
we can start doing that.
You definitely said brewery.
Did I say
Real
brewery?
How did you
Yeah.
say?
Don't
yeah.
do that. No, I see where you're going. Don't
Brutitionist,
No,
like yeah.
I
you
didn't
said
say
Yeah, that's
kinda
right.
like
They're
that.
neighbors.
See, but we can keep going because you said brutitionist. That ain't really.
Well, I was just going off what you said. You said it similar to that. That's what
Okay.
I'm saying.
So that means okay. I follow you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It was a little brutitionist.
yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm not here to argue, brother. It's our first time back, man. Good seeing y'all. So we ain't gonna even do that. It's all right.
We need the soundboard. I ain't trying to argue with you.
I do miss the soundboard,
Yeah,
man.
we'll have to get that back involved.
Somehow.
Somehow we're gonna have to get. We're gonna have
Baby
to get
steps.
Yeah, definitely baby steps. 100%. After today, yes, that 100%. All right, so let's see. Let's jump into this. And I got excited. I'm not gonna lie. I got extremely excited. Got a little too hyped, probably because I want to do this, and I think we should plan some sort of trip or something. But
Like a field trip?
like a field trip. Big Boy and members of the Dungeon family, and I know CeeLo and Goody Mob and them was a part of it. They have turned the Dungeon into an Airbnb.
I think just Big Boy did it on.
Was
his
it
own.
him, Dolo? I could be wrong. I know
I remember when the house came up for sale. He bought the house himself.
I know he copped, but I remember CeeLo saying that they were thinking about doing a podcast and something else in there. But to your point, it could be just big, so they might have something to do with it. But either way,
I mean, he did go diamond.
he did go diamond. Yeah, he did go diamond. So they got a couple bullet points on Hip Hop Wired where it says guided access. And this is what I thought about immediately when I heard about it, was the basement. You know, where they used to rock, right?
Right.
The dungeon.
The dungeon, the actual dungeon.
With the mold.
with the mold, and the and the writing still above the steps and all that.
Hopefully
like,
they put some kills in there.
Man, but it says guided access to the basement of the house, a 90s relic where Outkast and Goody Mob recorded some of their breakout hits. The walls still bear signatures of the artists who got their start there. Now, to me, that alone would take care of me if I was to go to the dungeon. I just want to go down there just to see everything that was written on there. And I don't know how they're gonna protect it because it's goofies out here now. Somebody would be like, "Oh, I want to write over whoever wrote here just to do something stupid." Like that's the era that we in now for clout. So hopefully they have those areas at least covered with something, man, so that you can just go down there and see it. But this excites me, man. Like I saw the pictures of it. They got pictures online. It looks crispy. It looks professional. It's polished. And I'm just trying to figure out when we going, man. Because
that's all I need is a picture. I'm good.
So you ain't trying to go?
I mean, I'll go, but
so you don't want to go?
I'll go.
You gonna be the only person that don't want to go?
I'll be like, cool, let's go.
we can get in and shoot the show in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could take the
people
show
that Mike's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could take it. Yeah, we.
Well, that was CeeLo. That was CeeLo talking about it. So I mean,
yeah, he did say they was thinking about doing a podcast.
If you rent the Airbnb, you can do whatever you want in there as long as you ain't tearing up nothing.
That's true.
It says kicking back and playing records in rooms styled to commemorate the key Atlanta locations, inspired by the Dungeon family tracks. Access to state-of-the-art home studio outfitted in Yamaha audio equipment. That's dope. Arriving in style with local transportation within the city limits, to and from the crib, in an Escalade, and discovering surprises throughout the house that are remnants of the Dungeon family's illustrious past, lasting impact in music today. So
it's only $25 a night.
$25 a night. Now the waiting list for this is going to be stupid, right? We know that.
I feel like he's lowballing right there.
He's definitely lowballing for $25.
Yeah,
but
he's doing it in honor of the 25th anniversary.
Are there no beds or something? Like, how do you sleep?
Well, from what I understand, it's got to
show up.
I saw a picture of one bedroom, so it's at least one bedroom in there.
It's not a big house.
The crib's not that big. So I saw a picture of at least one bedroom. But am I the only one that's super excited? Because I think this is great. And I so want to try to do this. Like I really would like to do this.
I mean, I think it's another relic in Atlanta, man. I don't know if you've ever been to Atlanta, Georgia, or surrounding areas and actually just soaked in the history.
True.
Like going to Martin Luther King Jr.'s house and his church, and even I forgot I can't cuss. But
good job.
Stone Mountain, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of its history, I mean, it's part of history. It's kind of cool to see all that stuff. But Outkast is part of Atlanta's rich history now. And being able to see where they started at is almost like a pilgrimage, especially for hip hop heads that came up on Outkast and, have been listening since they first came out and had all the verses talking about deep in the dungeon for these many months. You know what I'm saying? Amongst the dungeon dragons as we pass around them blunts.
Yeah.
The dungeon is literally embedded in all of their lyrics early. Right. So being able to actually feel that and be there, I can G for it. I'm with it.
Yeah, I'm with it. Lone, I saw your eyes kind of perk up a little bit when I mentioned the studio. Is that like an added bonus?
I mean, it's just neat. I didn't expect him to have a studio in there. I mean, I don't get excited, period. So, I mean,
well, he ain't lying.
He don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's cool. You know what I mean? Like, I'd go. I'd show up and be like, oh, this is neat. You know what I mean? But, like...
it's neat.
You know, I mean, it is. It's a part of history and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I don't know. It's not something that I would randomly choose to do. I don't know.
I think I would, man.
I would, man.
Because even when we went up to Louisville, it was around the time that Muhammad Ali had passed away.
Yeah.
Went to see Anderson .Paak. For the only time I'll probably be able to see Anderson .Paak for $20.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there.
What they hitting for now?
Hey, we don't even want to talk about it.
I feel you.
But it was like about the same week or so that Muhammad Ali passed. So we went past Muhammad Ali's childhood home. It's like it's kind of cool to feel that energy and see, you know what I'm saying? It does something to you a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
No, I'm just different. I'm weird.
Yeah,
So.
I'm weird too, but
I mean,
Outkast is my favorite group, so
you could almost view
in
it in a way like I mean, it's nowhere as elaborate, but almost like a hip hop, a Southern hip hop Graceland.
yeah,
You know,
Ooh,
the
good
same
call.
way people still
call.
go to Elvis's house,
Yeah. Right.
and get excited, want to take pictures in front of the gates. You know, and I think they give full on tours there.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
now mind you, this house where the dungeon was isn't anything that you're going to be able to give a full. I think it might be a 2-bedroom, 1
it's
bathroom.
not Graceland,
Maybe.
but
You know, but you know, when you talk about musical history and the influence that is Outkast and how they held Atlanta down and made sure they knew the South had something to say.
Yeah.
You know, I could see where people would be excited about this. You know, it would be cool. I like to, tour it, hang out there, take a few pictures.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to stay the night.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's where I'm at too.
Why are
like-
you looking like that?
because I don't
could be there
know
for
that
30.
area now. Like
yeah.
I'd have to.
I mean, it's still in the hood.
I'd have to talk to some people and make sure we good over there. They
I
don't,
think-
especially
yeah.
if they don't know me.
Yeah,
That's kind of where I'm at. Like I feel like to show up and look at the stuff real quick and see it and be there is one thing, but like all right, I see it now. I'm gonna stay here and hang out. Like
How about this, Lone? So we go and we pay for one night, and then we look and everything, and then we just stay up all night, and then
record
leave
an
the
album
next day.
even.
Yeah, and then just leave the next day.
well, then you could say that you recorded an album in the dungeon.
I could.
Yeah.
They bet. Hey, there's somebody. I'm telling you, somebody's gonna try something. Like the studio's probably there just for ambiance and all that, but it's going to be somebody that's gonna sit down at the console and be like, "Man, I wonder if it works. I wonder if they got the power on." The next thing you know, Pro Tools up. And you got a.
It better be a good product. If you in the dungeon playing around thinking you about to ignite some
magic.
Outkast dungeon energy.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nothing goofy is associated. Well,
No,
yeah,
nothing goofy.
Is anything? Nothing goofy is associated with the Dungeon family. Is it?
I mean, no, I guess. Yeah,
Future
I
is
mean,
a
I wasn't
part-
gonna say that.
Future
but
is a part of the Dungeon
He
family
is.
lineage, ain't he?
I mean,
But Future,
do you
He
want to
ain't
say
got-
goofy though.
He's not a
I ain't gonna
goofy.
say he's goofy.
Yeah, he's
Nah,
not
he's
a
not
goofy.
I'm gonna come out and say it, man. And this is me being a new old head.
Come on, man.
I appreciate all kinds of music.
Yeah.
Love it even.
Yeah.
But I never caught the wave of Future. I just never did. And I have to attribute it to maybe it just missed me. And because, I mean, there's people that I grew up with that G for Future, but I'm cool, man.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
cool.
You know,
He has a few hits here and there, but other than that, I'm good.
because I remember the first time I heard Tony Montana.
I do too.
Man.
I was, man, what the heck?
Or
What is
Racks on
this?
Racks on Racks. Remember the dude that had the Racks on Racks song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Future was featured on it. I could not stand that song.
And then the song "Turn Out the Lights." I was like, man, what? Where is the? Maybe this is where I really started to feel old in the culture.
Yeah.
And this is a while ago.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it because, like I said, I'm still outside.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
was it my thing? No.
I missed. I can openly say I missed the wave, and maybe I just his gift or talent or whatever just doesn't resonate with me. So I probably just missed the wave.
I mean, I
and
got
that's
it when
cool.
I heard March Madness.
Yeah, March Madness is dope, and I'm not saying everything I've heard from him is quote unquote trash.
Not
like,
by far. My whole thing is people champion Future like he's the champion of Atlanta
facts.
for the most part.
Facts.
And I'm just not, I don't see that.
Right.
I'm sorry.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I know people right now that'll look you in your face and tell you that Dirty Sprite, I think it's the first one. I think it's the first one.
Either
It's
one.
like one of the best top 5 records to ever
Nah,
come
I'm
out.
cool.
And I'm like, man, I missed it, man. I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
Is that the one with the collaboration with Drake? I don't remember.
Nah,
No, that's
like I got that, but those because they were more.
I
Drake
know what you're
records.
talking about, but I ain't gonna get here lying talking about I know which project it was on. But
yeah.
yeah, man, I'm with Terry on
Yeah,
that
I
one.
wanted to talk to you as a man in your face and tell you. that.
So we verbally doing all the cues for the buttons. Huh?
But if we're talking about Dungeon's influence and he's a part of it, I mean,
yeah,
shoot,
that's
it's
true.
massive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
because it still maintains that wave until today.
And then you had the opposite of the Dungeon, which was the Attic. I mean, they didn't last very long, but it definitely was an Attic crew, and they
Was
weren't
there?
whack. Yeah.
I'm not even hip.
what's
What
the
was
name?
Young Bloods and
Yeah, the Young Bloods. Who am I missing? Who was in that wave, man? Was Bone Crusher.
What was
Young Bloods.
What did Bubba Sparks claim? He claimed New South.
But
Yeah.
But was
But
he?
he was down
He
with
was Dungeon
Timberland.
Family. No,
He was-
No,
because
he
he
was
was
with
on the
Timbo. Yeah,
Purple Ribbon album.
But he was with Timberland though.
But yeah,
He was under his umbrella.
Yeah.
under the Beat Club.
But
Yeah,
the
that's
Young
right.
But the Young Bloods that era was the Young Bloods,
Lil Jon and Eastside
Lil
Boys.
Jon Eastside Boys, Bone Crusher.
Yeah, but I don't know if. Like I said, I had never heard anybody refer to it as the Attic. So like,
I feel like
Yeah,
I've heard
I
that
missed-
before.
I
themselves
missed
the
that
Attic.
somehow.
They called themselves the Attic Crew.
I feel like I heard that somewhere before, but don't give me the line. But
The Loft.
You know,
The Loft.
the vestibule.
I could have started the Loft
Yeah.
back in the day.
Living room crew.
the
The
vestibule.
Young Bloods definitely used to claim the Attic, and whoever it was that was singing on some of their hooks, I can't remember his name.
Well, you got me on that one. I remember a little bit, but I'm not gonna sit here and say I remember all of it. But I'll trust your judgment,
Okay,
brother.
so were they the ones drinking out of the gasoline cans?
Yeah.
All right. That was a dark time.
Hey,
Man.
hey, yo,
Hey, that Lil Jon energy had you had
Yeah,
your crunk juice.
drinking liquor out of gasoline cans.
Hey,
Listen, I was at spring break. I was at spring break one time in Panama City, and Lil Jon, he had performed on the beach or whatnot, and there was an after party that night.
yeah,
Lil Jon is literally hanging over the balcony, and this is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. I would have had to swing on Lil Jon. Lil Jon is drinking,
yeah.
but letting it drip like off the balcony onto people.
Nah, I'm cool on that.
I was like, y'all are really letting him do this to y'all?
yeah, I'm cool.
I'm cool on that. I don't want to ever be that famous.
Nah.
Yeah,
To
I'm
where people just accept me being foul.
Well, not even that. The I was more disgusted with the people letting him pretty much
that's
who
bad.
spit
does
on
that?
them.
That's bad,
Like, yeah, who allows that to happen? That's not a spring break or whatever experience.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that- no,
let me
really,
take
it
that
is.
back.
Yeah,
Let me
it
take
is.
that back.
Yeah,
It is.
It
What I'm
goes
saying is,
down.
I didn't-
Testament.
what
Yeah,
I'm
it
saying
goes
is,
down.
I didn't drive down there to have Lil Jon drip alcohol on
You
me from the balcony.
didn't drive
Yeah,
down
Yeah,
I'm
I ain't
not
driving
going
that.
for it.
Yeah, I don't need that. I'm cool.
I'm not going for it.
I don't know what Lil Jon had been doing before.
It don't matter
All the-
what he was doing. the fact of the matter that he's pretty much slobbering on you.
Yeah.
You should not be cool with that.
Nah, I'm cool. That's alcohol, right? So it's sterile, right?
Hey,
That's not how that works.
That's not how that works.
it could have been water at that time. Who knows?
Yeah, this is a different time.
I tell you what, I didn't drive down there for that. I know you didn't either, but
Welp.
I'm glad you were disgusted, sir, as you should have been.
Disgusted.
Yeah, because that ain't it. And I think we actually just since we don't have our chat tonight, I think we kind of fell into a fourth random topic right there.
Yeah.
Would you guys say that? Is that fair? I know we just off schedule tonight, so I'm just throwing it out.
We
there.
got about 10 minutes, I think. So.
Okay. All right, cool.
What were you going with?
We've got a couple options here.
What we got? Let's see. I don't know what I can. Hold on, give me a second.
I got an interesting one that did you see the
Let's go.
T-Pain's got that did you see his man, I'm stumbling right now, but
Documentary.
the documentary and what
yeah.
Usher said about him?
Oh
that-
yeah,
Yeah, that's been circulating around. I've heard that.
Yeah,
He said he went into a
Did you see
depression.
the video? I saw the video.
I saw a very short, like 1 minute
I
segment.
saw the video where he actually said that he was on. They were all going to the BET Awards. Usher pulled him like to the back of the plane.
Yeah.
And he said I thought Usher was my friend. He told me that I ruined music for
What I told
real
him?
singers. And I
Yeah.
said, I mean, you could tell like because T-Pain is a very flamboyant person, and there was a level of hurt that I heard in his voice and seriousness, and I thought, wow, that is a terrible thing that Usher did. Like, that's really all I got to say. And the thing is, didn't Usher use auto-tune on OMG like not that long after
he was
that?
on that whole international wave
Yeah.
for a minute.
Yeah, and that's full of I don't know. And he said this sent T-Pain said it sent him into a real depression. And it's
For
like
4 years.
It's like, why would because everybody likes to keep it real.
Yeah.
And say what they feel, but like sometimes you have to realize. First of all, that's just not true. It didn't ruin it for real singers. Like T-Pain was his own wave. He didn't shift the culture that much.
Nah.
To where
He
all
I
quiet
don't
as
know
kept.
about that. He
Quiet as
inspired a
kept
lot
though.
of people,
But
T-Pain
they
is
were
actually
still,
a
like,
dope artist,
And he can
without
actually
the,
sing.
I agree.
Yeah,
But
without the
I don't.
auto-tune.
I think there was a wave to where he produced a lot and he was on a lot of. But even the people he produced for didn't always use auto tune.
I mean, the thing is though, watching the clip, like fam almost was getting choked up talking about it. That's what I noticed. I'm like, it was so genuine the way he was talking about it.
It could have actually been the straw that broke the camel's back because when you think about it, at that time, Jay-Z had made Death of Auto-Tune. And when he premiered the song, it was at Summer Jam, and T-Pain was on the stage while Jay-Z is performing this song. I don't know if y'all remember that.
I remember that story.
So
And he said,
imagine
y'all out here doing too much T-Paining.
Yeah.
Like, put it directly on.
while he's on stage watching them do this. So imagine that happening, and then he's saying that he's cool with Usher. And he pulls him to the side and says that to him. I mean, the thing about it is, I think a lot of people think that having money eliminates emotion.
Good point.
So they figure that, well, you're rich, you shouldn't be upset because he said that. At the end of the day, you're still human. That's why they say money doesn't solve everything. I mean, it can put a really nice Band-Aid on it. It might be able to clog a dam and keep everything from flooding. But at the end of the day, it can still bust right back open, and you're still that same person that was here before you had the money. So people shouldn't look at it like that and just, I don't know.
Well, just think of if somebody came up to you and said in earnest, "Hey, you ruined something that
that's crucial.
that you
man.
love." Whether
That's crucial.
that's
big.
I don't
man.
know if like that was like Usher was out of line for that.
Yeah,
He was out of line for that.
I agree.
Hey, T-Pain been airing people out here lately too, because he said that Nicki didn't want to work with him or give him a song. Mind you, this was at the height of T-Pain's career.
Yeah, Nicki wasn't.
He said Nicki
wasn't even on it.
Yeah,
for real.
she pretty much said, I'm an artist too, and I'm busy for the most part. And now she's copping pleas, saying she apologized. She don't remember, but it sounds like something she probably said. I mean, T-Pain, if we gonna keep it a buck, he held down the early 2000s like a mug. Like, I mean, he was on every hook. It's almost like him and Nate Dogg switch places as far as being on hooks and singing hooks, and he took it 10 steps further.
He took it way past Nate Dogg.
Nate Dogg because I mean, he was the radio for the most part when you think about it. Then he had an album that was supposed to come out with Lil Wayne at the time too. They toured together, like him and Lil Wayne toured together on that
just even bigger
Carter tour.
But even bigger than all that, like his influence on everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like we just talked about Future. Like the auto-tune, here's the thing. I don't want to say Usher was right necessarily, but there was a thing that happened in that time period where all of a sudden
Everybody was using it.
everybody was using it, and you didn't necessarily have to be able to sing to use it. So there is validity to that. Now the other side of the coin is T-Pain can actually sing really well, and he's extremely talented. And once you find out that about T-Pain, you typically back off a little bit on that because you realize he is talented. But it did open up a big door of a whole bunch of people to where they could get ideas out a lot easier. They didn't have to work with people that maybe had spent their entire life learning how to sing in key. You know, auto-tune was meant for subtle adjustments with instruments and you know, singers, not to turn it all the way on. But he took auto-tune and used it the same way Daft Punk used side chaining, or you know, like he created his own thing. He created, you know, like so.
But his stuff was jamming though.
Yeah. And
like besides,
it was jamming. It was
besides
jamming.
even the auto-tune, even when you think about the production on those songs he was singing on, it was on point.
But even with all that like aside, like I don't think he ruined anything.
That's the word.
You know, it's like he definitely set everything into a course.
Yeah,
he created a whole nother lane.
I'm with Lone on the impact, like the overall impact of it. Ruin is the wrong word because he ain't the first person to do that. Like, come on now, we're not just gonna put all that on T-Pain. But to Lone's point, a floodgate was opened. And I'm talking about it opened wide once he popularized that. And then you couldn't turn from it. Like, rappers was just singing their own hooks and using autotune. Like, so you could kind of see where Usher was coming from with that. But I say that to say, fam didn't ruin it. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I think that'll do
Technically, he wasn't even the first that did it because Roger Troutman
had a vocoder that was doing. I mean, it wasn't the exact same thing, but it gave you a pretty approximate effect. So
yeah, I'm with it. So that'll do it for this episode. We are sorry about any stuff that we couldn't control for the day, but we made it work. Appreciate all the fellas working hard. Shout out to my man Mike as well, on site producing. If you get a chance, make sure you follow the YouTube page for the New Old Heads Network. Give us a subscribe and also hit the bell for notifications. Stop by patreon.com/New Old Heads as well for our multiple options that we have there, monthly options where you can support us. As always, we appreciate the support, and we'll see y'all next week.
But also, we are now live on Twitch.
Again.
We're back.
So
on Twitch.
we're back on
to
Twitch.
Twitch.
So the YouTube experiment is over. So
I forgot about it.
but the video still will
The video
Yeah,
will
it'll
still be on
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
when we go live, we'll be on
Yeah,
Twitch.
just hit the bell, but we definitely gonna start rocking with Twitch again. So
yeah,
thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
absolutely.
We'll see y'all next week, y'all. Peace.
All right.